Hi, Clover. Good morning. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Erie. I'm making my tea really quick, and then I'm going to have a seat. Hi, Nicole. Is it Annalisa? Am I saying that right? I am Philly, PA. I'm running low on my sugars. Do you think there's a difference with manifesting? Hold on, 2, 4, 6. I don't buy into those beliefs of twin flames and all of that. I don't get into that. You can manifest whatever you want and whoever you want. And that's as far as I go with it. I don't get into any of the other stuff. It's just another belief system. There's nothing wrong if that's what you choose to believe in or that's fun for you. But to me, it's just another belief system. It's another story. It's another opinion. It's just another thing people believe in. Because just always remember, nothing has meaning in this experience. It's completely meaningless. And you'll hear certain people say, like, the reason why, I've heard this one, the reason why people don't believe in twin flames is because they've never experienced it. So they think they're like special because they have a twin flame, right, connection. And to me, that's just, when you're fighting for something like that, it's just another reason why it's not true, right? So I don't buy into any of that stuff. You can literally manifest whatever you want, and it's literally that simple. But you can believe in it. You can believe in it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with believing in it, but when people start getting into, they're so feeling like, oh, that you're special because you have a twin flame union, and that person in that relationship, theirs isn't as important as my relationship because I have a twin flame, right? It's just that when you're manifesting a relationship and you're getting into that and you're just fixated on it, you would just attract all that information to you. So you attract the twin flame, you attract this, you attract how to manifest a person back, and you attract all that. You attract even like so many limiting beliefs around relationships and people, the runner, the chaser, and you just attract all this information because you're so fixated on that topic, on wanting that person back, right? Or wanting just a relationship in general. That's why you really want to strengthen your discernment. That's the first thing you want to do. The first practice you want to do is non-reaction. You want to do these practices that I talk about, because it's gonna eliminate all the stuff that is just people's opinions, just people's beliefs. It ain't wrong or right, but you understand this stuff on a deeper level, that you can have whatever you want. The answer is yes. It has nothing to do with a twin flame, soulmate. Everybody's your soulmate. Everybody's your soulmate, literally. Hi, Linda. Thank you. I don't even use this cup. I just use it to make my tea, and then I pour it in my Stanley. I got this cup such a long time ago on Canva, because I use Canva for all of my, pretty much all of my fun stuff, my creative stuff. So I made this cup for myself on Canva, but I don't even use it. I don't use it. because I pour it in my Stanley. But you have a right to believe in whatever you want. But again, just always be aware that everything is just a belief, right? What does Bashar say? The only thing that's true is that you exist and that you will always exist. From there, you're having a human experience, your spirit having a human experience. Thank you, Nicole. And you're here hopefully having a good old time. And if you're not having a good old time, then you're doing my practices. So you get to a place where this is actually fun. And it starts to become fun. And manifesting starts to become fun. Thanks, Stacy. So I had to practice that. I had to practice non-reaction for a while, doing relaxing practices. So I was always a good manifester. I just made a video on this on my story. I was a good manifester. If I wanted something, I was going to get it. But when I found out this information, I was even manifesting. So I was doing techniques and affirming, and I was getting things. They were, I was manifesting. But what you find out is that these things are never going to make you happy. These things are never going to make you happy. So you got to find out. Thank you, Clover. So what you got to do when you do these practices, it's, oh my gosh, you find freedom in these practices because you realize everything's just a reflection of you, but it's really all about you. So that's what you start to realize. Like, you are able to feel good on your own just with everything in your experience now all around you. And the manifestations are so easy to bring in. So I'm not saying you're not going to probably move towards maybe affirmations and lining up with your manifestations eventually, but you don't want that to be the first thing you do. You know what you want's done and you have an idea of what you want, but for the most part, you're probably in opposition of most of those things at first anyway. But you just know that what you want is done, and you more so make it about feeling good. Doing these practices, feeling good. Everything else will take care of itself. That's the funny thing. You're not doing anything at all. There's no doing energy in manifesting this way, at least my way. Doing energy is a belief. And that's a program that most people are running on, that you got to do. I got to show up every day on these TikTok lives in order for me to be successful. I got to make TikToks every single day in order for me to be successful. And that's when something else is taking power over you. You want to be able to start connecting with things that bring you joy, and all those other things will manifest. They will be the byproduct. Money will be the byproduct. Loving your body will be the byproduct. Loving yourself will be the byproduct. And manifesting in a healthy relationship will be the byproduct. Friendships with people, healthy relationships with people. People in your current reality will start to reflect back more positive because you're building up that confidence within, that security, stability within, knowing that you are the operant power in your experience. Like, it's literally all about you. Everything is just a reflection of you. And everyone else is having their experience as well. So it's not like you're taking from anyone. You're not taking from anyone at all because you're able to fill up your own cup and you're able to be in alignment no matter what. So you get good at these types of practices, and that's what leads you to lining up with these things so much easier. Money, you line up with money so much easier. You line up with relationships, trying to think of friendships, love relationships, all those types of things, that you line up with those things pretty effortlessly. The big topic was the one on food. I made a video on that yesterday because it's funny that Claire asked me the question on how I manifested my body, right? And like around food, releasing the limiting beliefs around food. Because we were talking about it on the live yesterday, and then she asked me that question, and I don't even think she was on the live. So that was in the air yesterday. Hey, Christine. I love it. I love it, Christine. Did you check the membership? I mentioned you. Because I loved what Christine said yesterday. Christine said step 1 is non-reaction. And that really is what it comes down to. It's all non-reaction at first. And non-reaction leads you to alignment. So step 1 would be non-reaction. Step 2 would be practicing alignment and maintaining alignment. Step 3 is going to be manifesting. Step 3 is when you're very clear on what you want. Step 3 is when you're focused more on your manifestation, because at that point you did step 1 and step 2. It made you a more powerful focuser as well. So it's easy for you to, so it's easy for me now, I'm going to use myself as an example, to listen to affirmations on what I'm manifesting, but live my day. They don't consume me. And I don't look at my world around me and go, oh my God, but it's not here. No, because I've created so much peace in my life by doing these practices. So by doing these practices, not only did I get very clear on what I wanted, but I've created so much peace within my life now. So it's easy for me to listen to my affirmations on what I want and just live my life. I'm not triggered by anything because all my programs are gone. All of my limiting programs are gone, right? So thank you, Christine, for bringing clarity to me for that. That's why I always say, like, you guys helped me too, right? Because I was doing these practices and making lazy manifesting as I was doing these practices because I realized how powerful they were. So I started creating things. I started making, writing the ebooks and realizing, because like I said, I first got into this like everybody else, desperate, chasing. Just like I need to feel better. I need to feel better. I need to feel better. So we gravitate towards these manifestation teachers that are like, I'll help you get that person. I'll help you get that money. I'm going to give you A, B, C, D, E, F, G to do all these techniques. And you're going, if you don't have that person in 6 months, you're doing something wrong. Oh my God, I heard that one too. I was like, whoo, God, geez. Like if you don't have the money within three months, you're doing something wrong. No, you're not ever doing anything wrong because your journey is unique to you. Your journey is special to you. So the more you do these types of practices, you really trust yourself. You trust where you're at. You know you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You know you're invincible. You're unbreakable. You exist. You will always exist. Okay? So you ain't going nowhere. All right. So drop the fact that you ain't where you want to be. You're getting there. Trust me. You're exactly where you're supposed to be now. So you're going to hear, but that's normal. That's a part of the process. To see all that stuff out there is part of it because that's where you are energetically. So it just lets you know where you're at. So now you could, as time goes by, you can listen to those same teachers and see them in a whole different level. You can actually see what they're teaching more in an understanding. Oh, wow, I like how they're teaching it. Not before where you were like, I need that teacher. I'll pay $1 million just to get this thing, right? How are you, Linda? Yeah, I mentioned you in it, Christine. Because I just really liked what you said and it really resonated with me. Because I remember, I'll never forget, Christine always said she likes a plan, like exactly like, and my practice is there's not really, it's just you're listening to lazy manifesting, you're relaxing. You're not really, there's no, and when she said that, I'm like, well, here, that's the best I can give you out of a plan is that step 1 is non-reaction. And step 1 is relaxing practices, which lead you to alignment and practicing alignment more of the time. So that would be step 2, right? And step 3 would be manifesting. Step 3 would be you're very clear on what you want. Now, you're always manifesting. Now, we all know that. So, people are going to probably go, you're always manifesting. What's she talking about? We are aware enough to know that we are always manifesting. But guess what? We're mostly manifesting what we don't want, right? That's really where we're at in the beginning. We're just keep on manifesting stuff that we don't want. So when I say step 3 is manifesting, what I mean is now you're clear on what you want and you're able to focus on those things and bring those things into your experience, right? You're not waiting around for anything. Hey, Nathan, you're not waiting around for anything because you've already mastered that. You're filling up your own cup. You know how to feel good on your own. You know how to, feel good no matter what's happening. You created that peace within already. So you're not waiting for these manifestations. You're just kind of like having fun listening to your affirmations. Now, this is where it becomes fun for me. Thank you, Brenda, because I actually always, I say this, I always liked affirmations, but I was too much into chasing energy and I wasn't happy with my current reality because I had a lot of unfavorable stuff popping up. So the unwanted had my attention too much to really fully enjoy my affirmations. Now that I'm at peace with myself and fulfilled on my own, I'm having fun with them. They're fun now. I'm like loving it, right? It's like a whole new reality that I'm tapped into. I needed this message today. Yes, you'll get past all of that, Lauren. So anytime you worry about stuff like that, Lauren, you just relax your body. you calm yourself down, and you remind yourself you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Everything is unfolding perfectly. Your most abundant timeline exists right now, Lauren, and that's what you're moving towards. But again, if I didn't do it this way, I wouldn't have been able to create what I've created this far. And guess what? I had the same triggers pop up time and time again. But you use them to help you practice non-reaction. You want to get good at non-reaction. And all along, things are happening. You just don't notice it at first because you're still focused on the unwanted. So, like I always say, I had money triggers popping up all the time. I had unfavorable stories popping up all the time. But guess what? I stuck to the practices. And what was happening? I was writing ebooks. I was creating a TikTok. I was hanging out with you guys, right? Before I even did lives, I was just creating TikToks about this stuff. I was strengthening this skill in speaking to people and being able to help people with this stuff. So I'm telling you, that's the number one thing, and it will always be this way. Even as things start to manifest into your life, guys, it will always be this. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment. And that will never change. Even as your life starts to get better, even as things start to manifest, you will always be reminding yourself when you start to feel unsettled that I am exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment. I'm always exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment because there only is this moment. And you will master that. And it'll be easier for you to settle into this moment. Hi, Sally. Someone said, hallelujah. Hey, Shalina. Happy Friday. I'm scrolling up, guys, just to check on anything I missed. So it really does start to become fun, and that's why I said, like, this is where I'm slowly starting to notice, like, wow, I'm having fun with. I've been sharing the affirmations on Patreon. I did a relationship one, and then I did a money one today. If you guys check it out, whoever's in Patreon, they're the affirmations. And now you're going to even start having more fun with them. So you'll start to play around with them, and I'll start creating some fun ones for you guys. Maybe I'll put a few in Lazy Manifesting as well. So you want them to catch your attention, and you want to be able to listen to them as you're going throughout your day. Right? So like you're still living your life. You're having a day. Like I'm having my tea. I'm hanging out with my kid. This is how I listen to Abraham Hicks. I was consumed by Abraham. I was obsessed with Abraham. I was obsessed with Abraham Hicks and her YouTube videos. But I was listening to her while I was on vacation with family, while I was hanging out with my kids, because I just loved it. It made me feel so good. I loved it. Like you guys listening to me on YouTube, right? Because this information's so powerful. That's why I say when you get Lazy Manifesting, you're going to want to listen to. It's not like do this work, listen to Lazy Manifesting. It is a job. You're going to love it. It's so powerful. The stuff in it is so freeing. It's just like my YouTubes. And again, let me make this clear. Let me make this very clear. You do not need Lazy Manifesting. Okay? Someone who said it yesterday, Alien, when are you going to make some stuff for us poor folks? Number one, Lazy Manifesting, that's a really low price. You look at other people selling stuff, my prices are low, okay? Number two, you don't even need it. You can just listen to my YouTube stuff, right? It's all about this kind of information getting into your subconscious. That's all it is. This powerful, unlimited, limitless information. You don't need the Lazy Manifesting. It's just extra. If you like my stuff, I love to create it. It's part of what I do. It's part of me. It's part of who I am. It's up to you if you want to join the membership. It's up to you if you want to jump in on the Zooms with us. It's up to you if you want Lazy Manifesting, guys, but you don't need it. YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, many other ways to get this information, right? That is huge. That is huge. That is huge what Shalina said, guys. It really is, because we are so programmed to do, and the more you start to feel good and get out of that program, which that takes practice, life is going to flow, and you're going to be so creative, because when you're more relaxed and you're more in flow with life, you're tapping into creativity, the creative stuff, right? It just starts to flow. It's inspired. That you can even say inspired action is creativity. You start to feel good. When you're feeling good and you're practicing alignment more of the time, it starts out with just relaxing and you get bursts of feeling good. but eventually you feel good most of the time, especially because you're aligning more with what you love to do. Like me doing this, I'm aligned. I love this stuff. And and even in the beginning, as I was setting intentions, it wasn't happening right at the moment with some of the stuff, but I could feel myself moving towards those things that I was setting intentions for. So don't worry that things ain't showing up right away. There's a process. There's an unfolding. There really is an unfolding, and you just, as long as you're doing these practices, it will manifest. Everything you want will manifest. Some things you do focus more on. Like I am right now really fixated for me and focused on positive money beliefs. Because that was a big one for me, guys. This is huge for me. What I do right now is huge for me. I was someone who was like, I didn't like school, never went to college. I did a lot of like little schools and trade schools. And I worked hands-on in places. Never did I ever think I would be able to be making a living on TikTok, my own business. Did I ever think that? You don't realize how limited we are around money. And when you start understanding that and shift your beliefs around money and just know money's always there for me. And you start reprogramming your mind with that because now you're more open, now you're more in flow, and you got rid of most of the programs around money. Money will always be there for you. It will start out that way. Money will always be there for you. Then it's almost like money's your employee. Like literally, money is it's always there. It's always going to be there. And you don't look at it more as like, I got to do things to get it. It's just there. So you don't know how much you can dive deep into that and create more positive beliefs around money. Money is you. Everything's a reflection of you, right? We know that now. That I know that takes time to sink in as well. You are the main thing though, okay? And you are the only thing in your reality, but that's a whole nother concept that takes time to sink in. But just remember, you are the main attraction. You are the main character. So money is just a reflection of you, right? Am I able to relax most of the time? So when it comes to your kids, you have to remind yourself that ways you can release resistance around worrying about your kids, well, they're a reflection of you as well. Right? So you got to say things like, there's nothing I have to worry about. They're going to learn through you being an example. So you need to practice alignment and understand that they're having their own experience and there's nothing I need to worry about. They're exactly where they're supposed to be. There is no problem. There's nothing I need to fix when it comes to my kids. There is no problem. There's no problem. There's nothing I need to figure out. There's nothing going wrong. They're exactly where they're supposed to be. And having their experience. And the more that you feel good and release resistance around your kids, they start to reflect back more positive, guys. It's so annoying. The shift is so easy. Once you start to feel better and understand your kids are exactly where you're supposed to be and you drop all that worry, they literally magically start to reflect back more positive because they are also you pushed out. I know. These concepts take time to sink in. And they take time to grasp because sometimes you're like, I don't get it. They're just me pushed out. They're just a reflection. Yes. You keep feeling good. You keep making it about you living your best life. Everything else will follow. Everything else will follow. You are the main character, but you don't know that. A lot of us don't know that. A lot of us don't know that at first because we didn't know that. Nobody did. We were always giving our power away, thinking people had free will in our experience, right? So it's really about knowing that nobody has control over you. Nothing has control over you, right? So first, you got to be willing to accept that. So when people jump in and they're like, asking me all these crazy questions about other stuff because they're still running on a program. Well, you got to be open to the fact that, yes, I created everything in my experience. It was unconscious, without a doubt. It doesn't feel good for a reason. Anything that in your experience that doesn't feel good was based off an unconscious creation. It was a program that you picked up from someone. And that's how you distinguish it. If it doesn't feel good, it's a limiting belief. Point blank. That's it. It's literally that simple. If it doesn't feel good, it's a limiting belief, guys. There's no but if, what about this? No, if it doesn't feel good, it's a limiting belief. I'm telling you. And the more you start to feel better, you'll start to see that. Okay? In order for things to start to reflect back more positive, you need to feel good first. That same thing that keeps popping up, if it keeps affecting you, you haven't released that belief yet. I don't even know what's a CC bill. Like, guys, you have to know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, and you will move out of that. But you have to know that. You have to know. So I can't help you if you don't know you create your own reality. Are you willing to accept that you create your own reality, right? And that there's a reality of you that's wealthy. Are you willing to accept that? Moon Earth. There is a version of me that is wealthy, and I am exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment, and I know I'm moving towards that. And you stick to these practices. That's what you have to do. But I can't help anyone until they're willing to accept that you're unlimited and you can be doing anything you want. If you can't even somewhat be interested in that, I can't help anyone, because what I'm saying is just going to annoy you, because you have to first accept where you're at. You have to be okay with where you're at, right? You have to be okay with where you're at, knowing what you're moving towards. So that's number one. That is really number one, guys. Before practicing non-reaction, you have to know that you are unlimited and you are here to live an amazing life. And there is a version of you that's happy, healthy, wealthy. And you have to be like, yeah, I agree with that. That feels good to me. Hey, Stacy. How are you? You have limiting beliefs. If you are afraid of being cheated on, you are still insecure. So you got to do the practices. You got to keep doing the practices. You got to practice non-reaction. You got to practice filling up your own cup. Very easy shift to that, Shell. Very easy fix to that. And it all comes back to you and filling up your own cup and being able to feel good on your own. That's what creates security within and stability within and confidence within. Nobody will cheat on you when you are confident in who you are, knowing it's only you anyway. It's no different. So Antoinette, if you're having a bad dream and you're feeling bad from the dream, and throughout your day you're feeling bad because you looked at your bank account, if it doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel good. Plain and simple. Use it to your advantage to do the practice, guys. Don't label it. Don't be so quick to say, don't give that dream so much meaning. Stop giving things so much meaning. So just know that, okay, this thing doesn't feel good right now. This moment doesn't feel good right now. So I'm going to use it to my advantage to relax my body. Okay, let's go even further into these steps that we talk about now. When you're practicing non-reaction, guys, you're not really super aware of your belief systems and the ones that aren't serving you, because you don't even know what it's like to feel good yet. So you got to practice non-reaction for a little bit till you can start seeing in front of you where you're limiting yourself. So it starts with literally just relaxing. You got to be relaxing your body, and that's it. And doing these types of practices and reminding yourself you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Everything you want is done, and everything is moving you towards it. But you got to relax your body so you can start to be aware of where you're still limiting yourself. And that becomes very obvious the more you do these practices. It's very obvious. But at first, you're just not feeling good, and it's not really showing itself too much. A bad dream, easy. Don't place meaning on it, right? We stop giving things so much meaning. But that takes practice. These concepts take practice. They take practice to sink in. So my thing, when people say, I just want what I want when I want it. Okay. And guess what? It's done now. Why isn't it in your experience right now? Then, right? So you want to keep doing these practices. You want to keep feeling good on your own. Because if it ain't in your experience, you have a limiting belief. Plain and simple. Right? So that's the thing. You want to keep doing the practices. Because the main thing and the biggest reminder is knowing you are literally exactly where you're supposed to be. You have to keep settling into that for a while. That takes practice, because this is the truth. And I said this yesterday, and I really truly mean this. It's just as easy to go back to an old pattern as it is to shift to something that feels better. And you know what? Let's not even say feel better. Let's not even use that, because that's a jump. It's just as easy to go back to an old pattern, but it's also just as easy to settle into this moment and relax your body. It's just as easy to go back to an old pattern and fall into victim mentality. And it's just as easy to settle into this moment and relax your body and calm yourself down. I'm telling you, it's just as easy. You get to decide. You are the decider. Yes, relax those shoulders, Nathan, and keep relaxing those shoulders. Shut everything down in those moments. When you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling like you're consuming too much information or your thoughts are all over the place, you gotta shut it all down. You gotta relax your body. You gotta get back into your body. And you gotta say, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. There is no problem. There's nothing going wrong. There's nothing I need to figure out. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. And if you keep doing that, you will start to move to something better. You will start to feel better. Hey, Mimic, how are you? Hey, Jules. I'm back in my... Oh, good. How are you, Mimic? Yes. You have everything now. You're just not seeing it yet, and that's okay. The thing about it is the more you feel at peace with where you're at, you're not waiting around for a manifestation. And that is peace. That is freedom. I'm telling you, you want to get to that place. You want to get to that place where you're not waiting around for anything. It's going to show up because you know how this works. You know, you focus on it enough, it's going to show up, guys. Trust me, you can do that now, even if you don't fully believe in yourself yet or believe in any of this. I did it all the time. I was always manifesting that way. Repeat, bring it in. Oh man, I'm still not happy. Because at first you're settling. You're settling. You're settling for the little bit of money. You're settling for that person just to come back for that quick fix. And you wonder why it keeps falling out of your hands. You wonder why you're still not happy when you get it. You trust me, you really want to do this way. This is freedom, or else you're going to keep yourself on a hamster wheel, and you're going to be like, why can't I get this? Why can't I figure this out? What the frick am I missing? And that's the trick of it all. You ain't missing anything. You got to make peace with this moment. That's all. You're not missing a thing. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And that's literally what you're going to keep telling yourself, because it's the truth. It's the truth. So you want to know, you want to do it this way. You want to do it. And I always say, like, I don't force this on anyone. I just know people will find this stuff soon. People will get it, that you got to practice non-reaction. You got to practice non-react. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. If people ain't talking about alignment when they're teaching manifestation and all this stuff, they don't get it yet. Because it all comes down to alignment. It all comes down to making peace with where you're at in this moment. It will always be that. And it's not even necessarily finding happiness. Like, that's a big word. And feeling good is also a lot of labels around that got ruined. And people are like, you don't got to feel good. You don't got to be in high vibrate. You know, they'll knock that to the end of the earth. But it really is. You got to feel good first. It's everything. It's literally everything. But feeling good means a lot of things. Feeling good means being at peace. Feeling good means being relaxed, right? It doesn't just mean I'm jumping up and down, skipping. You're going to have those moments, though. You are. You're going to have those moments. I love that Arc. I heard somebody say something before. Arc says, sometimes people can't accept we are full, nothing is broken. And I love, somebody once said something, you can't add to yourself or take away from yourself. You're perfect in this moment. You can't add or take away. And that's what these practices will help you see. Everything's just an experience. Everything's just for fun, right? And that's so true. You are perfect. You actually are perfect in this moment. And you can't add to yourself or take away from that perfection at all. You literally are perfect. And the more you do these types of practices, you will start to see that in yourself as well. That was awesome. I love that. Exactly like what Linda said. She said when she started feeling good all the time, she started being happy where she was at. She found peace in each moment. And that's what it is. Like a lot of times this is a hump. This is actually a hump where people are start to get bored. They do my practices for a while and they come to me and they go, Kier, I'm so bored. Like I don't really have many unfavorable stories anymore, but I'm so bored. And I'm like, no, that's it. That's the money place to be. That's the money piece. Because now you just fill that in. Now you go, now I'm going to get up and I'm going to take a walk. Now I'm going to get up and I'm going to cook. Now I'm going to get up. And you feel, that's when you start tapping into those higher energies on your own and filling up your own cup. So believe it or not, boredom is, if you're doing my practices consistently and you're finding yourself bored, that is a great place to be. That is a really powerful place to be because you cleared up a lot of your stuff. You might have a story or two lingering. They may linger. Just keep doing the practice. But for the most part, you've created so much space. And soon you're going to see yourself going into more of the stuff that you're manifesting. You're getting very clear on those things and you're laser focused on them. And that's when they come in pretty quick because that's how you manifest, guys. Is you do focus on something long enough, right? But in the beginning, you want to focus on these concepts, knowing everything is done now, knowing you're unlimited, knowing another very dominant limiting belief around manifesting is that things need to fall apart. I hear it so much, probably because it's in my awareness and I heard it a couple times. No, it doesn't, guys. That's a limiting belief. I want to break it to you. If you're practicing non-reaction, nothing will fall apart in your experience at all. Nothing. If you're doing my practices, nothing will fall apart before a manifestation at all. You are gracefully moved into those things and that will be your life forever. So if you're still hearing that, and if that's still happening in your experience, you got to keep practicing non-reaction because could you imagine living your life thinking like, oh, in order for me to move towards something new, things have to fall apart first. And then you're anticipating that. Just think about that. Always go within and say that feels limiting. So that's what I do. I ask myself when I hear people explaining this in certain ways, or I happen to browse through my TikTok and I hear someone say that, I go within and I say, no, that hasn't been my life. That's not how it's unfolded for me. So that's because you're still reactive and you still have a belief that things need to fall apart in order for you to manifest. So you anticipate that. Thanks, Country Mike. So this should be easy. This should be effortless. This should be fun. Now, at first, I won't lie to you guys. I'm honest. At first, it's not really fun because you got a lot of unfavorable stuff popping up. You're having spurts of it, feeling good in between. But it's actually the most powerful time. So believe it or not, non-reaction, it doesn't always feel so good in the beginning because you're not used to feeling that discomfort. We're used to like running from it kind of, or just doing something to fill it, a quick little fix to fill it, right? But now you're kind of just chilling with that not feeling good moment, that discomfort. But you're realizing it's not really hurting you the more you sit with it. And you're like, and in time, that's where all your wisdom comes from. That's where all your knowledge comes from in those lower energy moments when you're relaxing your body, even though it doesn't feel good. Now, in time, hey, Cece. In time, hi, Cece. Thank you, Cece. And thank you, Candy Shack. I'm seeing you guys sending me stuff, and I'm not even acknowledging them. I'm so sorry. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the heart puff and the ice cream cone. So in time, I forget what I was saying. Let me think back to what I was saying. Life is supposed to be good. Yes. Yeah, so in the beginning, it's like, But in time, what happens when you're doing these practices, guys, this is you. You're not needing anything outside of you anymore. You're being guided in the most natural, effortless way. And it's not like I need somebody to help me with this. It's all you doing it, right? And you'll trust where you're at and you'll trust the messages you're getting, right? And if they don't feel good, you'll know to check in, right? And eventually, those moments of not feeling good, there's a clear message in it. Oh, wait a minute. That's triggering me still. Looking at my bank account is still triggering me. Okay, I got to relax my body around this. I got to know that, wait, I'm moving towards more. I'm moving towards more abundance. I'm good. I'm taken care of. I'm provided for. And the shift and then eventually you'll be able to start. Now, once you're able to look at a belief and it doesn't affect you anymore, that's when you can start checking into more positive belief systems. Money is my friend. Money is always there for me. I love money, blah, blah, blah. Like, you'll be able to get into those type. I have a few of them in Patreon, and tap into that. And then you'll start to flow with money more. Hey, Charles. But at first, we are getting rid of a lot of this programming that we're running on. And we're understanding that it's all me. I am the one in charge, right? I hold all the power. It's you writing your own story. Now, Cece, whenever I wear this, I think of you. Because you said you have one like this, a jacket. So every time I put it on, I think of Cece now. I love this little jacket. I can only wear it with like certain things though. I don't know why. And that's so good. Like, even though, like, Charles, I know you had a lot of questions, and I know you're working on some things too. And that story that keeps popping up in your experience, you just keep relaxing your body around it. Literally, it will work itself out. And the main thing is, like, we want to do our best to not talk about these things because we just keep them so active. And that's a program in itself. That's a program in itself, to want to talk about our problems and to want to ask for advice and help. But instead, you want to actually, this sounds bad, but you guys know, because you understand. You actually want to internalize it. And you want to relax your body into it. And you want to remind yourself that everything's okay. Everything's going according to plan. Everything's unfolding perfectly. Does non-reaction mean ignoring or just sitting with it? It's more so in the beginning. Does non-reaction mean ignoring emotions? No, because you can't. Be serious. Like, let's really be serious. When people say, you're telling me to ignore it, you're telling me to shove it down, you're telling me to, but you can't. It's got your attention. It doesn't feel good. It's got your attention. So the best thing you can do for yourself in those moments to move towards best and better is relax your body. So non-reaction is literally just relaxing your body. That's it. That's all you really can do in those moments. Those moments don't feel good. Now, what you would have normally have did before you knew that you created your own reality and you knew how powerful you were, you would talk to your friend about it. You would go see a therapist. You would ask for help and advice in that area. And what that does is just keep it real and active and happening over and over again. But now that you know you're so powerful, and now that you know what you focus on grows, you now know that you got to find another way. You got to find another way than to talk about this thing that doesn't feel good to you. And that's where non-reaction is it. It's it. It's the thing to do. It's the most powerful practice is non-reaction. Non-reaction is literally just relaxing your body and softening your body in those moments and hanging out with those moments and when it doesn't feel so great. And thank you for that, Court. Thank you. So guys, it will get easier the more you relax and you just soften in those moments. At first, it feels like this stuff ain't nothing changing. Ain't nothing changing. I keep feeling like this and these stories keep popping up. Keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. I'm telling you, stick with it. Stick with it. It's so powerful. I love that, Charles. That's it. That's literally it. Charles just said he had a massage. She went and got a massage. So I always say, like, do relaxing things. Get yourself a heated blanket, sit in the bathtub, shower, whatever just relaxes your body is really going to, like, I didn't even realize till I look back all the times in the beginning when I was sitting in the sun and I was just like sitting in it and then coming back in, going back out, sitting in the sun. I was actually manifesting. Like, I was moving towards my best timeline. Things were happening. Now, I didn't see it that way. I had too much going on in my mind. I had too much unwanted happening. I was living in a reality that I didn't want at that time, but yet things were unfolding for me. I was creating Abraham TikToks. I was listening to Abraham, right? So you don't see it that way in the beginning. Everything comes together, guys. I'm telling you, honestly, that's the coolest part is when you can look back and see how everything unfolded for you. You can see how all the puzzle pieces got put together. So viral, if you want to quit your job, the best thing to do is you got to go through the path of least resistance when it comes to that. And if you leave your job, you got to ask yourself, will I have more discomfort now? If I leave my job, will I be worried about money? If I leave my job, will I be worried about, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm going to be homeless. So you got to ask yourself, is there least resistance in staying or leaving? And you just keep applying non-reaction at your job, making the best of where you're at, knowing what you're moving towards. Thank you for that. I will be honest that I wanted to get out of my job too. And I didn't even have a bad job. I didn't hate it. I actually liked it. But I knew this information. So I was like, I got to get out. I got to be home. I want to be home. I don't want to work. I want to be home. And through affirmations, I did manifest working from home. But again, I still wasn't happy. So I had to keep practicing non-reaction. I do feel like everything happened for a reason. So if you can find a job from home or find something that makes you more happy while you're doing these practices, the main thing is that you stick to these practices though, because another job isn't going to make you happy. You take yourself with you everywhere you go. It's really about releasing the programs and the belief systems that they don't line up with the most abundant timeline. They don't line up with financial freedom. They don't line up with you doing what you love, not having to work at all for it, just being you. You existing is enough. You existing is enough, guys. I'm not kidding. I know that took a while for me. I'm actually just now realizing that now, that me existing is enough. Me being myself is enough. Me being my true self is enough. Money will gravitate towards you. It will be, I want to be around you. Like, this is how I had a quick little vision this morning of when I'm around my nieces and nephews, especially my niece, they always loved being around me because I was always fun. And I love being around them. That's what money's going to be like. It's going to be like, I just want to be in your presence all the time. So I actually had a vision this morning of my niece. She's like, I want to play with you. I want to hang out with you. Like, she talks about me before I come over, like to the parties. Like, oh, I hope Aunt Kira's going to be there. And that's going to be money. It's going to be like, I just want to be around you all the time. So the more you're yourself, the more you're doing what you love, money will freaking find you. You will be a magnet. So it will always be there for you. And the thing is that at first it might not look like a lot, but don't get upset because it's still there. So that's what I was getting ahead of myself a lot. It was unfolding, but in small amounts. And I'm like, ugh, like what the heck? But no, you got to get excited for that. All of it. And then it just starts to increase, right? And more starts to come. You can, believe it or not, yes, Shelly. So I honestly love this stuff because this happens to me and I don't even realize it. So because I'm so light about it and I never had a dominant, strong desire to change my looks, I would notice that I would start transforming into people. And people how many times Julia Roberts have I gotten that one? So I watch Modern Family. That was my main show for a while. And I had people telling me that I looked like Sophia. And my daughter would say, I would say to my daughter, don't you think I kind of look like her, right? And I would joke around. And because of that, people would start reflecting that back to me. Back before I knew this information, Jennifer Aniston, everybody would tell me I looked like her because I loved her. I was like, oh my God, she's so pretty, right? She's like the it girl. And everybody would say, you look like Jennifer Aniston. So yes, you can transform your looks and all of that, but it's all you. You're the one that believes it and then people reflect it back to you. So I always find these ones to be fun to play around with. But again, I never had a strong desire to change my looks. It just started to happen. So it all really, what it really comes down to when people say, can I do this? Can I do that? And it sounds really far-fetched, even sometimes to me. I'm like, well, hey, I'm not going to tell you no, because you might believe in that, right? Where some people don't believe in my beliefs either, right? I'm more confident in them now. I have no negative beliefs around food. Right? I feel like I can eat whatever I want. I don't gain weight. And a lot of people don't resonate with that. Well, how did you do that? And the best way I can go about it is explain my journey, because a lot of people are like, no, that's not true. food has this, food has that, food, and I don't buy into any of that. To me, if I crave it, I'm eating it. I don't limit myself around food, right? So like it's all based off you and your beliefs. So I say, yes, you can have whatever you want, but it's all up to you and how much you want to move forward with that. Sometimes things have a lot of resistance, right? And you're like, I don't know if I could do that. It's causing me more discomfort to even want to move forward with this one. That's a good one for me. Eyes. So I used to always say, all right, I would love to have blue eyes. If I woke up tomorrow and had blue eyes, like I'd be so happy, right? But I can't manifest that to me. I would have to go get contacts. That's the only way I believe. So your path might be some sort of surgery. It depends on you and how much you believe that for yourself. But yes, you can. So it's really up to you. Eartha Kitt. Oh man, I have to look her up. It's so true, Lilani. It's so true. Literally, like anytime I would ask myself, it's literally just you. I always say, like, I talk about your higher self sometimes. And I used to always feel like I was being guided, like I could go within. I think it's just the relaxing that's the guidance. When you relax, you get guided out of that not feeling so great, right? But it really is that one message that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. That's what I got all the time. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, guys. You will always be. You will know when it's time to start making your next move. You will know. Like I knew when it was time for me to start affirming because I was very clear on what I wanted. I knew what I wanted. But at first, I can look back to say, you know what? I was wavering in those things. I was still focused on the crappy story of those things, right? And I can be honest with myself now because I've done these practices enough. I know where I'm at now. I'm very clear. I'm very clear on what I want, and I know I'm focused on what I want now, right? So you'll know, guys. I will, Claudia. I don't know what that really means there. Zero accountability. Apathetic practices are a big seller in today's, like, I don't know that doesn't make sense to me. And you could be saying it in a positive way, but I don't understand it. So much bombarded info. Thanks for teaching this when I started applying to my life. Oh, I love that, Mimic. That makes me so happy. How to stop wavering. So I can tell you, I can give you a few practices to help you stop wavering. It's honestly doing things in your everyday life to keep yourself more disciplined. And it's funny because it's not what really people teach, but it really helped me. What helped me, Green Apple, was like being more disciplined in my everyday life. Like, all right, I'm going to get up and I'm going to clean my house and I'm going to do it without even stopping thinking like I don't feel like doing this. Or like making a decision, this would be Abraham's words, making a decision and lining up with it, but just in my everyday life. Like, all right, I'm going food shopping right now and I'm going to go get, without letting any doubts come into play. Like, I'm going to go right now, get this, and this to make dinner, and I'm going to come home and I'm going to cook this. And it would always, and watch how it unfolds because it would always be so perfect. Like the other day, I'm better at it now. I had to practice it. I was like, I felt this impulse to go get dinner. I was hungry. I think it was yesterday. And I was like, as I was driving to get it, I was like, ooh, I got a little bit of doubt there. What if nobody answered me? My kids didn't answer me back. That's what it was. But I was like, you know what? I'm still following through with this because I know they're going to be hungry, right? So I went, I got everything, and a little doubt came into play. I was like, you know what? What if they don't text me and I make this whole meal? Well, guess what? I said, nope, we're doing it and we're following through. And I did. I got that thought out of my mind because I caught it. It sounds silly, but it's really not. These are huge things. That's why I said this is way easier than you realize. And I came home, cooked the meal, did everything. It was so nice. It was just me in my house cooking. Everybody came down to eat. Everybody came in to eat. And they were all excited, and it was so perfect, right? Because I didn't let any doubts get in the way. Where the old me, let me just tell you, like way back, I would start thinking, what if like they're not home, or what if they go out with their friends, or what if, and nobody eats this dinner, and it has happened to me. And you don't realize how much your thinking is creating your reality. You don't realize. So the more you can be disciplined in your energy, you catch this stuff more. And that helps you not waver. It leads you right to your man. So this is why I say work with what you got. People don't really get that. They don't understand what that means. Nobody teaches it this way. Nobody teaches like working with your circumstances. Work with your circumstances. Work with your current reality. Knowing that what you want is done. That's going to lead you right into your manifestations in the best way possible. Because you're already so secure. You're already so confident in who you are. Because you've applied these types of practices along the way. Right? And so was I, Brooke. So was I. So, Brooke, I was such an overthinker. Let me tell you, I am never in my headspace anymore. I am so clear-minded. I was up all night worrying about the kids. I would be like thinking about like, oh my gosh, what if they don't eat their lunch? Because my kids I created such crappy stories. My poor kids, like I'd be like, oh, I hope they eat their lunch. And like, I hope like they're not starving, because my kids were shy. I had them labeled as shy because I was shy, right? And I'd be like, what? Let me tell you, I was an overthinker and a worrier, so I totally get it. But let me tell you, you will not be anymore. You stick to these practices, you will not. You're going to be free from all that. If you're still experiencing anything negative in your experience, you got to remember it's you. I know that sounds harsh, but you want to know that everything is you, guys. You want to know that, thank you, Kim. You want to know that you create everything in your reality, and you just have negative belief systems still on people in your experience. That's more dominant. The negative aspect of them is more dominant. So what you got to do is it's an old story, and you got to relax your body in those moments. You got to stay calm. You got to stay calm and quiet. And you got to accept responsibility, and that's tough for people. But if you can't accept that you create everything in your reality, then you just keep yourself on cycles, and you keep blaming other people for the way you feel. So you're always going to blame them for the way you feel. Oh, they're making me feel bad. They're negative. They're this. They're that. Well, you got to practice feeling good no matter what. So if you're experiencing any negative people in your experience, you got to quiet that. You got to quiet that down. You got to relax your body and say, okay, I still have a negative story around this person. I still have a dominant story around this person. So that's really huge, because when people like keep coming back to me and they're like, listen, this person's still negative. I still have this. And I'm like, it's all you. Sometimes they don't want to hear it. And I don't see them anymore. You got to accept the responsibility, or else you stay stuck in cycles. You need to feel good no matter what is happening around you. That's key to this stuff. What do you do when you feel out of touch with reality because people don't understand my spiritual? Well, that's another belief too, Lilani, and that happens, and that's okay. You'll move out of it. You'll have through my experience, Lilani, the more I was processing this information, I had a lot of those distant moments where I felt so distant. But that all comes together in time. So just lay low in those moments. Just relax your body in those moments. Same thing. Remember, you have us here. Right? I always think about that too. Like, I have you guys that, that do love this stuff and are interested in this stuff. And the more you start to feel good in your everyday life, that doesn't affect you anymore, because you're just living your best life, right? It is another limiting belief, right? It's another program to think like, oh, now I'm different than everybody else. And but it really is only you. So always go back to that. Everybody's just a reflection of you. So what happens in time is people will be like, whoa, what did you do to get here? It'll be that. And you'll be like, well, this is what I did. These are the practices I did, right? So you'll be getting those types of reflections back, not like what you're thinking now, like, I'm out of touch with everybody. Nobody gets me. I'm different than everybody. But it takes time for these these concepts to sink in, right? Yes, Bobby said it. And that is so true. I don't know what I just hearted. Guys, I can't be pushing buttons. Yeah, that's all that matters. And that really is the truth. And the more you relax your body, you get let out of those moments too. And you see something a little different, or you see something more clear. And that to me is part of these practices as well. You're processing information and you don't even realize you are. The more you're relaxed, the more you're just kind of like breathing through those moments, you're actually processing, you're getting led to it. Now it's very clear to me. Like when I have a question, I get led to it automatically. It's like that first video pops up, it'll be Bashar or somebody else talking about it, and it makes me understand it on a different level, right? So just always pay attention to that. You'll start to realize that more, but hi, Nay. How are you? Oh, thanks, Mimic. Yeah, that is so true, Ghost. It's like you are your own TV show, right? You are your own TV show. Exactly, Nay. That's really what it's all about. Yeah, yeah. I used to always say that all the time, pizza. Like, it's so funny because I see it so differently, because I used to say, like, you don't have to vibe with everything and everyone that comes into your experience, right? But you can also see it, and you can see them still see it in a positive way too. Like I come across so many people in my experience that I was like, yeah, I can tell we're probably not going to be best friends, but I can still see good in them, and I like them. Like they have so great positive things about them, right? But it doesn't mean you have to be everybody's best friend, right? And you can take something from every person too. Like they're in your experience for a reason. So find something in them. Like, oh yeah, I like that they're like this. They're very confident, right? They're very this, they're very that. Like you can take something from any, they're very knowledgeable, they're very smart, you can see a positive in everyone. That's up to you. Is there any negative energy being sent from people though? No. No. Nobody. So is there any negative energy being sent from people? Absolutely not. You create your own reality. You create your own reality. You are the only thinker in your reality. Nobody has free will in your experience. You got to give them permission. If you're thinking that people are negative and they're sending you negative energy, that's all you and your belief. So I know that one's rough because see, this is where this is where what you're consuming and strengthening that discernment within. So you can go, wait a minute, that doesn't feel right. Just the word negative. If somebody's saying protect your energy, they can get to you. Does that sound good? So that's how I knew. I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound good. No, nobody can affect me. The more you become secure and confident in who you are, guess what? Ain't nobody affecting you. So this is how I tell people. This is a quick way to know if something is still negative in your experience, if you still have a negative belief in your experience, and if it's how it's affecting you. So something can show up. It can be like I use money because it's part of my experience. And you keep looking at your bank account and you keep seeing not a lot of money. One, if you keep relaxing and looking at it, eventually it doesn't affect you anymore. Now, oh my God, I have no money. Oh my God, I don't have that much. Oh my God. And then you're worried about spending it and you're like, oh my God, oh my God. Eventually, it goes away because you kept relaxing. You kept acknowledging that belief system that doesn't serve you, and it started to not make sense. It starts to not make sense because you keep relaxing, you keep settling down. Wait a minute. No, money's always there for me. I always have money. I have everything I need. I'm always taken care of. And you start buying into the more positive beliefs, and they start to win. So that's what these practices are doing. So it starts to not, you're like, wait, that doesn't affect me anymore. It's not upsetting me like it used to because you stuck to the practice. So nobody can hurt you in your experience. You got to give people permission. That's just a belief though, that you're giving them permission even. That, oh yeah, you can affect me. You're sending your negative energy my way. You're thinking hateful thoughts of me. No, you're thinking that they're thinking hateful thoughts of you. This is a projection of your consciousness. Everything's a projection of your consciousness. So everything's you. Everybody's you. So you're creating them to be negative in your experience. Get what I'm saying? I know, right, Charles? That's so good. That's good to know. Like, it's good to see those types of reflections back, right? What you're saying about like seeing Bashar, and like Alan Watts is another good one. Abraham Hicks pops up a lot. Hey, Tail. I'm scrolling up to see. It resolved itself. Oh, yay! I love that, Tail. I love that stuff. Did you ever used to try over-explain yourself to people? You know what, Project? I didn't really ever try to over-explain myself to people. Why? I'm going to tell you. Because I was never like that anyway. So that wasn't hard for me. I remember one time doing it on vacation with my family a long time ago. And I think it was I was still like new to this kind of stuff in the very beginning, like vibration. I didn't really know what I was talking about. But yeah, I was never really a no, because I didn't feel comfortable at first. So in my own skin talking about it. So I never tried to over explain myself really ever anyway, because I was never really argumentative. Like, I never tried to get people to believe in what I believed in. Like, I just was never like that to begin with. Right? Like, I worked at a job before this that like was always talking about politics, and I had zero interest in it. And my job was very close. We were all together all the time, and it was 24/7 conversation. And for as long as I worked there, it never got me. It never messed with me. I never took those beliefs on as my own. I didn't resonate with any of it, and it was constantly being talked about. So for me, I never felt the need to like explain myself. And I was writing my book while I was working, and nobody knew I was writing my book. So I was always very private, a very private person. But I do remember once trying to explain myself, and it was like I was all over the place because I didn't really even know this stuff myself very well. Because in the end, you're only trying to convince yourself. When you're trying to like over explain something to someone, you're not secure, right? So that's why I don't argue with people. I don't force this on people. I don't try to get people the people that stay with me, like, people jump in and they'll say something smart, but they don't stay. It's you guys who constantly jump on and love this stuff and want to know more. And we're all resonating right with it. But I don't try to force this on anyone. I caught that one. Whoever got rid of it. Kira, could you say my name? Yeah. So I believe in the beginning when I was talking about this stuff, I wasn't very confident yet, right? I was like screaming. I was always trying to get my point across. But that's because, I do believe that served me though. I think everything serves you. It was helping me get better at speaking. It was helping me understand it when I was talking about it. But I was more of like, I'm always screaming. But you can tell the difference. I know what I'm talking about. I know. And I always knew it was the truth, what I was speaking. But I was still like trying to get people to understand it. Like, you got to get this. You got to know this, right? So I have like lightened up actually a lot on talking about this stuff. Hey, it does, Shalina. I agree. It's like one of those things. What I've learned is it's like actually really simple. If you're either moving towards what you want or you're not, and it's actually that simple. So the thing about it is it's all about feeling good, and that's annoying at first because we don't even know what it's like to feel good. We're trying too hard to feel good, but non-reaction will help you with that. But the thing is, it's very simple. Like if I keep complaining about where I'm at, I'm not able to move towards what's better for me. So it really comes down to just feeling good. Honestly, it sounds so simplistic, but it really is that simplistic. And the more you do these practices, you start to feel better. And you'll start to move to all those things that you want, your manifestations. You're not so attached to them anymore where you're like, I need them to feel better. You learn all these concepts. So you want to take that journey. You want to take the journey to understanding how this all works and how these concepts work. You want freedom. You want peace. You want to be like living your best life, right? Like I wanted to be happy, and that was my main goal. I found my passion, what I love to do, what comes easy to me. How do I make it my reality? Well, that's the thing. You got to know that you're going to be moving towards it right now. It's happening right now. So that's the thing. You got to keep telling yourself, Mimic, that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Everything's unfolding perfectly. But if you're trying to get from A to Z right now, you're going to try too hard. If you want it to be a smooth journey, keep relaxing into this moment and knowing you're exactly where you're supposed to be and everything's unfolding perfectly. Oh, Charles, I love hearing that. So think about it like that. So like in the beginning, I found myself at times I was efforting because I was still getting good at it, right? Because I was still running on a program. I still thought like, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta make a TikTok every day. I was buying into all those programs. I would hear ones like, you gotta make 5 TikToks a day, or you gotta make 3. Now if I make a TikTok, I make a TikTok. Sometimes I make 7 a day, right? It's all inspired though. I do love seeing that, Charles. Like when things start keep clicking more, and it'll make sense. It'll get easier to understand. It won't feel so. Even I say like some of these concepts sometimes feel like, what the heck? Like, what is this? Like, it doesn't feel good at first, but you just need more clarity on it. You need to keep relaxing, and then it starts to make more sense. And just the fact that it's just you and everything's just a reflection of you, but you are literally the main attraction, right? It's all you having this experience. Of course, Mimic. So guys, just know that you're going to be, the more here's the thing about your passion. Your passion is in this moment. Believe it or not, the more that you can make the best of this moment and feel good in this moment, that's what leads you to things that you're desiring in the best way possible. So it really comes down to like it sounds funny, guys, but like you're going to be like just taking a walk or hanging out with your friends or making dinner and cleaning your house at first and that's what's going to actually lead you to your passion in the best way possible, in the most effortless way possible. It's by knowing that you are exactly where you're supposed to be and everything is unfolding perfectly, and all those things will manifest in the most amazing, magical way for you that you'll be like, whoa, that's pretty cool how that all unfolded for me, right? Nothing will miss you. Nothing will miss you at all. Thanks, Mike. These nails are so weird. Look at them. I didn't realize that they change colors. I went to Ulta with my daughter the other day, and I'm always buying nails. I actually don't like them, but thank you for saying you like them. And I'm into like the more short, like the pointy ones. I don't know what they're called. The pointy ones, and I didn't really love them on me, so I clipped them. But I didn't realize that they actually like change colors. Now they're on my hand, so they ain't coming off till they're ready. Yes, what Brooke said. It takes time. It takes time because it's a whole new way of living your life. That's what I always say. It's a whole new way, right? It's like you're trusting the process and I say trusting the process, but you're not at that point. The more you do these practices, you know it's done. You just keep focusing on that experience that you want, and it's going to start to manifest. And at that point, you're so clear, and you have a bigger plan. Like at first, I had a small plan. It was like, I want to have a little home in the corner. I always like tease. Like, I'm going to do this, that, like, it's just a kind of like a small, you just don't think you can have everything at first. You just, oh, this is good. I'll be happy with this, but you can have any experience you want, and your desires are unique to you. So what somebody may think is small to me huge to me might seem small to someone else, but your desires are unique to you. That's why you never want to compare yourself to anyone, because you'll start thinking, you'll overthink that. Should I be asking for more? Am I asking for too much? No, like your desires are unique to you. So don't compare yourself to anyone. That's why they're strong. That's why you think about them all the time. That's why you want them so bad, guys. That's why you want it so bad. It's unique to you, right? Thanks, Ark. Oh, Nathan. Well, I love you guys too. You know that. I look forward to jumping on here with you guys every day. I'm a workaholic. Well, stop saying you're a workaholic. And here's the thing about that, Mimic. I want to tell you something. I was always a hard worker, and I was always a goer, like go, go, go. And that's not really a bad thing. It's not bad. It's just your perception on it's bad. The thing about it is now I do what I love. I relax too. I always say I can relax with the best of them, but I love what I do now, and I'm always doing something. If I'm not here with you, I'm doing a Zoom, or I'm working on doing a Zoom with you guys, or I'm writing on here, or I'm creating an audio. So just that word workaholic is there's just so many negative beliefs around it. But when you're doing what you love, it doesn't feel like you're a workaholic. You're loving what you do. Do you know what I mean? So it's just how you're perceiving that word in that moment. It's not a bad thing if you're doing what you love, right? I know. You know what, Blue? I wasn't going to jump on because when I do Zooms, sometimes I'm exhausted, but for some reason I just have a different energy today. Every day is different, and today I was just like, you know what? I kind of really want to do a live. I don't like to plan too much. I even tried to start to plan Zooms, but it was like, it wasn't working. I was like, every Sunday. I might still try to do it, but I kind of like to just go with the flow and like not say I'll be on live at 5:00 every day. I don't like that. That doesn't resonate with me. I like more so like someone asked me, could I do a Zoom at this time? And I said, yeah. I'm open for that. I like the idea of doing it during the day. That's something new. So like, I like more of the flow thing, right? So yeah, if I do a Zoom, I don't always come on live because it's a lot of talking, but I'm also getting better at that too. Being able to just constantly talk about this stuff and not exhaust myself. At first, oh guys, I used to be so exhausted. I would do a live and I was just like, oh my God, I was so tired. I had no voice. I had zero voice at all. And I have really gotten stronger in that, in being able to speak about this stuff. Oh, I love that, Stacy. Well, I'm all about simple, and I've always been that way. I've always been like, let me find the easiest way. Let me just figure out but I didn't want just the easiest way. I wanted the best way. I wanted to move towards my most abundant timeline. I wasn't just like, what's the quickest way to get a manifestation? That I went down that road. And that was very unfulfilling. I want to know how to get everything. I want to be experiencing my most abundant timeline, right? So for me, it wasn't just what's the easiest way. I want it the best way, easiest, best way to really move towards my best life. And this by far to me is the easiest, best way for me so far. And I'm open to, like, I listen to, like, I'll pop through and listen to other people, but I resonate with Bashar and Abraham a lot. To me, I think they're the best teachers out there. I really do. I think they're very updated and on what they say. And I just resonate with that. I think it's very simplistic in what they teach and how they teach it. It's really about trusting yourself. This is trusting yourself and where you're at, knowing everything will happen in the right time. It's so funny. Like, when people say, like, stop screaming, it cracks me up now because, like, this is how I always talk. Even in my house, I talk like that. I remember when I was young, I was so shy and I never spoke at all, like, ever. But when I did speak, when I had to read, I was like this. I would scream. So people would be like, and I knew that, and I couldn't help it because it's just who I am, right? And I'd be in school and nobody knew me, like, knew what I probably even sounded like. But then when I had to read something, I was like super loud and super clear. I was good at a good reader. But it was like, I know everybody's like, oh my God, whoa, we can hear her voice and she's loud. I know. I love you guys. I always say that. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It used to. I used to, in the beginning when I did these lives, I had to get like strengthened in that area. Because like people were just like, they were so mean and I was still triggered by it, right? So I had to learn how to just not let that affect me. And now I don't even really see it in I don't even see it pop up. You guys are always been so good at taking those down. Oh, I love that pizza. I love that. Can I be honest? I think I was always good at that. I was always good at when something seemed like somebody was saying it in that way, I was able to twist it. I feel like that was always something I could do. Now, entering the world of social media is a whole nother thing. It's a whole nother can of worms because it's like, I'm just talking about my little life that I was living. But when you get on social media, it's like a whole other area, right? But it's all helping you. You can see everything as a positive. Once you shift your mindset, you do start to see everything as a positive and not so as like out to get you. You could have taken more.
What, me?
Yeah, taking more of those.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'll grab some today.
Oh, you guys are so awesome. I know, and you guys get to listen to this. Do you guys like when you're at? A lot of people say they listen to the YouTubes at work and stuff. So I know it's definitely helping you guys, right? So this is where Abraham again helped me, right? Listening to Abraham and her voice. I always say what I resonated with Abraham was her energy, her positivity, her, I guess you call it like her vibration, right? That's what I resonated with. That was her listening to her I wasn't always like registering what she was, you are. That's why I say, like, you can listen to my lazy manifesting just as you're going throughout your day, or these YouTubes as you're going throughout your day. It is registering. It is. And Abraham was too. But I was still living my life doing things. I was still cooking, cleaning. I was even talking to people as Abraham was in my ear. So that's why this stuff, that this is how you manifest. These are all programs, whatever you're entertaining. But like when I talk about affirmations and doing things to manifest, you want to wait till you get real clear on what you want. And you don't want that to be your main thing, your main focus. You want these concepts to be your main focus. You want to understand how this works. You want feeling good to be your main focus, right? That's going to always be your main focus, honestly. Hi, Diamond. Right? That's what I always say. When people used to say stuff to me, I'd be like, we're just reflections of each other. That's all it is. Can of worms. Did I say that? I didn't say can. Did I say that? Who knows? Nathan says, I think I like this little life. Yeah, I know. Oh, Stacey, I love that. And that's what I want. I love hearing guys like your guys' stories. And this never ends. So just know it, guys. This never ends. You're constantly getting better at it. You're constantly getting better at alignment. You're constantly falling more into who you are and who you're supposed to be. So there's no end. So don't think like this is it, or I'm not getting this, or no, you just keep doing the practices. They're not my practices. It's just non-reaction and alignment. I mean, we know Abraham, Bashar, they talk about it all the time. But you keep falling more into who you truly are, and you keep becoming more comfortable with who you truly are. And you have no attachment to things anymore. You release all those attachments and you start to become free, and you start to release all the programming that just, that's limiting us and keeping us stuck in a little box. So there's no end to it. And I know that now. And you know what? That makes me feel so good, because I know where people are at in this. And sometimes I've been there, and I know sometimes you like lose hope in moments, in those little moments. And I know that you are going to be at this place too. I know everybody's going to be here because you're sticking to it, and you're always showing up on these lives, and you're doing the practices. So I know everybody's going to get this. That I know these are. And there's no end to it. There's no end. There's no end to you. You're going to constantly be constantly expanding, constantly growing. So to me, it's like when I hear people say like, I'm getting it and this is happening and that's, I'm like, it's only, in my mind, I'm like, it's only the beginning. You only tapped into this stuff. Like, wait till you see. Wait till you see. Wait till you see. So I used to listen to Neville a little bit in the beginning, because that's like where I was at, right? In the very beginning. I didn't really discover Abraham till later. So it was really just Neville and Joseph Murphy. And that's pretty much what I was on at first. And then I got deeper into like this stuff, more so like, I guess, the spiritual aspect of it and all that. And I like his teachings. I think they're great. I like listening to other people teach them and explain it more so. I understand it better. But it's all the same. It's all the same thing. Like, it's Abraham and Bashar talk about it too, right? It's all the same stuff. It's just something else to listen to if you like this stuff, basically. So, but yeah, in the beginning, I did listen to a lot of Neville, and I listened to like Joseph Murphy was teaching and all that. But I favor Abraham. I favor Abraham, and I don't even know if I was on that whole time. So I had to walk over here. I favor mostly Abraham and Bashar's teachings. Yeah. And you know what's funny? I don't get into the alien stuff. Not that I don't believe in it. I believe in all that. But I stick to this. Like, I think this is what I like to talk about. I like to help people with non-reaction. That's an alignment and feeling good and understanding how to get to a place of feeling good. That's where I think that's what I'm meant to do. I honestly feel that way. I'm meant to do that. Like, I'm meant to help people in those lower energy moments and help them understand that that's okay. Like, you're okay. You're safe, right? In those moments. And it's all part of the process, right? And that's what's going to lead you to alignment, because alignment's not talked about that much. Feeling good has kind of been bashed a lot in the manifesting community. I've noticed through listening to people, and people just because people don't feel like they can achieve it. So they make an excuse that you don't have to feel good all the time to manifest. Well, no, you manifest all the time. You're never going to stop manifesting. And yes, you can still have a negative mindset and manifest. Of course you can. But the point of it is that you're going to constantly find yourself in a loop of unhappiness. And you need to be happy. You need to be in alignment in order to really have a full experience here and to not have attachments to things and not think that those things are going to make you happy. So I get where they're coming from, but it's very limiting in the way when people say, you don't need to be positive to manifest. And I caught a lot of that. And I was like, yeah, that's limited way to teach, because you really need to practice alignment in order to really have a full experience here and get the full effect off your manifestations and living your best life. You need to practice alignment, and you're going to always have to practice alignment. Yeah, again, we're learning that now, right? Because here's the thing, we've been consumed by things. We've been consumed by thinking things are going to make us feel better. We're programmed like that now. And that's not working for us anymore. Where at one point that was part of this experience, right? Having things and homes and jobs, and this is the human experience. Well, guess what? It actually took us away from ourselves too much. And now we're realizing, wait, something's missing. Something's missing. Why am I getting these achievements and goals in life? And I'm making it big, but something's not adding up. And it's alignment. We're finding that, wait a minute, something's missing. And it's because you're feeling you're feeling such separation from yourself now. Isn't it? I know, Bobby. I love it. I honestly love it now. I've gotten to, wait, let me just tell you guys. I can honestly say now, like, I wake up, I used to say, I can't wait to the time that I jump up out of bed. And I wasn't there for a while. I had a lot of resistance in the morning. And now I'm just so excited to, like, start my days and get up and do these kinds of things with you guys. So, like, and, like, create my TikToks. Not even really do my TikToks too much as jumping on lives and doing the Zooms. I love doing the Zoom calls. That kind of stuff for now is, like, where I'm at right now, having fun. Exactly, Patrick, right? And that's freedom. Yeah, I really liked him. His voice was good. I listened to everybody, guys. I went through such a journey of absorbing all this information, near-death experiences, psychic mediums, like listening to them and their story. Like, I went so deep into, like, understanding all of this kind of stuff. I loved it, though. Like, I couldn't get enough of it. Who else did I listen to? A lot of motivational speakers. I loved motivational speakers, just their energy and the way they spoke. And I believe that that's why I do what I do. I think you don't realize how your journey's unfolding, right? The fact that I was listening to them all the time, not really listening to what they were saying, more so just their energy, their vibe, right? And why was I so attracted to those things? So you got to understand, like, you're attracted to things for a reason. It might not be for the reason you think, though. It may be just part of your path, right? So for the fact that I dove so deep into spiritual stuff, because it was a part of my path, it helps me understand things on a deeper level. It helps me answer people's questions, right, on a deeper level, understanding where people are at on a deeper, right? So I didn't know why. I was just attracted to that stuff, like near-death experiences and, again, motivational speaker. Well, like, really, those two things have nothing in common, but they were a part of my path. They were part of my purpose. So, and at first you're like, okay, wait, what does sitting here painting my nails have to do with my purpose? But it's actually literally leading you to everything. It's leading you to everything. Yes, kids too. No. Oh, Les Brown, Patrick, he was my favorite motivational speaker. He was my favorite motivational speaker because he's funny. I like funny. So I think that's why I loved him, because he was so funny. And he said a lot of things that I resonated with.
So start. I mean, it's really about being honest with yourself when you say that. Only you know where you're at and where your focus is. So when you say, am I still allowed to want it to show up, even though I'm fulfilled and I already have it right now? So it's really about being honest. Am I still feeling lack around it? Do I still need to focus more on myself and feeling good on my own? Or am I really at peace right now and just at peace with knowing it'll show up when it shows up? So that's only something you can answer. That's what I always try to tell people. Like, only you know where you're at in that. I could be honest with myself in moments and say, you know what? I'm still needing the money to feel better. I still need money right now in order to feel better. So it's something you got to ask yourself and say, I still have to practice feeling good now. I still have to do these practices. I still have to focus on myself and using up what I have to feel good now. So like I said, guys, it's really easy to shift out of that, but it takes honesty first. And then what you'll do is you'll be like, all right, what can I do now to feel good? What can I do now to keep myself busy and feel good with what I've already created? How can I make the best of this moment, right? I was saying Les Brown. Bob Proctor was funny too, right? I just like the way he talked. Like, he would get real high on his voice. He'd be like, and on, right? Like, he would get like real loud and then low again, and how he talked. I liked him too. I liked them all. But Les was just so sweet, and he was just so comforting and so powerful at the same time. Yes, Stacy. Yes, money is you. Money is literally you. Like, it's all love. It's all out of love, right? And that's the thing. The more you drop these programs around money, you're going to see money so much differently, as just something that's always there for you. And don't get discouraged if you're not seeing it come in large amounts at first, right? Let it evolve in the right way for you. And just know, okay, wait, I can be honest, I'm still triggered a little by not seeing it, or I'm still triggered by this or that. And just keep relaxing into that, and it'll keep unfolding in the right way for you. It will. It really will. It's you're just still releasing some of those crappy beliefs that we have around it. First of all, I would never be, Audrey, would you ever literally think that I would ever be disappointed? Why? I'm going to tell you why I would never be disappointed in you. You want to know why? Because I know there's no problem. I know there's nothing to worry about. I know that you're unbreakable. I know that you can't make a mistake. So the fact that you even think that I would be disappointed in you. Well, you know where you're at. That's all. Audrey, you know where you're at. You're honest with yourself. That's what I always say. Like, when people are constantly reaching out and they're still in that energy, you know where you're at right now. You're in that needy energy. You're in that energy still. You just keep applying the practices. You know what to do. You know what to do. It's just, you got to make that a habit. You got to make focusing on yourself a habit. That's all. Guys, it's just a new habit. When you're manifesting a person or a relationship, you're so fixated at first on the person. That's a habit. To be constantly checking on them and seeing what they're doing, and wanting them to contact you, and I miss them and I need them. It's just a habit. That's all it is. You can be honest with yourself and say, okay, wait, I got to make me the habit. I got to focus on me. I got to be filling up my own cup. I got to be focusing on myself. So you just got to keep being able to redirect your focus to yourself, because you're in a story right now. You're in a reality you don't want to be in, Audrey, and you keep feeding it, right? So just be aware of that. Be aware of where your focus and attention is right now. My focus and attention is on this reality of them with someone else. That's not what you want for yourself. That's not the reality you want to be in. And in order for you to shift to the one that you want, you got to get yourself out of this one. And to me, the best way to go about it is to focus on yourself fully. But it's not easy for people because we're so in that energy. It takes time. It takes practice, right? But always remember, you're the one. You're the one in reality. You create your own reality. So right now, this is what you're creating for yourself. So you got to make that decision to say, enough's enough. Enough is enough. I'm focusing on me. I'm focusing on me because I know what I want is done. I know the version of this is done. The version that I want is done. A healthy relationship, a healthy, happy, amazing relationship. But I can't even get to that while I'm in this one. I can't even touch that one right now, right? I can't even smell that one. I can't even see it in my mind right now because I'm so fixated on the one I don't want. This has my attention so powerfully right now. So you got to keep doing it. You got to relax and you got to go, no. Focus on myself, focus on myself, focus on myself. Nothing to be mad at. Nothing to be mad at. Guys, you'll get this. Just stick to the practices. Listen, everybody has their days. I had many of them. I had many moments. I had many days where I was like, what am I missing? That was always my question. What am I missing? What am I doing wrong? You're not. You're exactly where. That's the thing. That is the thing. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. You're not missing anything. You're exactly where you're supposed to be in this moment. I cannot say that enough. You have to settle into that. Me saying it means nothing. You need to settle into that. I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, and you need to relax your body enough to where you're like, yes, I am exactly where I'm supposed to be. You can settle in this moment when you have those moments where I feel like I'm missing something. What am I doing wrong? Why isn't this here? Any time you don't feel good, if you can keep settling. Remember what I said. It's just as easy to go back to an old pattern as it is to settle into this moment and to keep settling until you feel peace. You will feel peace. If you settle enough, you will feel peace. But it's just as easy to do that as it is to do that. Show yourself. Show yourself. Show yourself how easy it is. It's just, okay, wait, I could go back to this old pattern. Poor me. Why ain't this working? I miss them. I love them. Why aren't they here? Where's my money? I hate my body. I could easily go into that. But it's just as easy for me. Show yourself to settle and to relax. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in this moment. And get so quiet and so still and relax your body. All right, guys. Caitlin just jumped on and I was about to jump off. I'm gonna jump off. Caitlin, I'm so sorry, girl. I'm so sorry. Oh, Sheila, that's what it's all about. That's literally what it's all about. She says, I just kept sticking with it. It really is just non-reaction. Things manifest. See, that's the thing. Thanks, Jenny. Jenny, that looked like Rosalie. Thanks for the hearts. I'm looking at her picture. I'm like, that was a brilliant session. Oh, yes. Can you tell I'm all confused? It is Rosalie. I know my stuff. Oh, I didn't know that. I love that. I love when I know. I'm like, wait a minute. This is Jenny. That's Rosalie. I love that. Like, I do know you guys. Like, I know my people. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I know I came in a little early today because we're doing a Zoom call. So but I still wanted to jump on today. Oh, you guys have a great day. I forget what I was saying. just about settling into this moment consistently. It is all non-reaction, and that things are unfolding. We don't, like I always said, like things were always unfolding for me, but I had so much unwanted going on. I had a lot of unfavorable stories, guys. I had some scary stuff. Let me tell you, I know what it's like to feel that fear and that pain and that suffering, but it all goes away. It all goes, it's like, oh my, I just can't explain the feeling of it just eventually, because now you get it. Now you're stronger in your focus, and you know where to redirect your focus, and it just keeps getting easier and easier and easier and better and better, and you're just going to be experiencing freedom on all kinds of levels. And I just love hearing your guys' stories and how you are making progress, and I love it. Are you going to be, Caitlin, are you going to be in the Zoom that we're doing? Because I'll be jumping on there too. Exactly what Caitlin said. Exactly. Oh, of course, Claire. That's my favorite question. Okay, Caitlin. Guys, listen. I'm gonna tell you guys. I'm telling you guys here, user who's in the Zoom. But like Rosalie, all she did was say, "Hey, Kiera, would you be able to do this time?" So if there's a time that works for you guys, throw it out there when it comes to the Zooms, because I'm pretty flexible when it comes to that stuff. Okay. It's Patreon Mimic. Check in my link and you'll see Patreon. That's how you do it. Go up to the link. I don't know where to click it, but you'll see Patreon and you'll see it, and you click on it and you sign up. Can you see Mel? Mel, I just made them appointments, guys. I know my dog's hair is so long. They smell so bad. I always say I love you guys, but you guys smell so bad. And I just made them appointments for, I think next week to get their, because I was waiting because it was so cold. And, oh, there we go. All right, I'm going to jump off. This is what I do. I start talking about my life. I'm like, oh, my animals have being groomed next week. Like, you guys don't give a crap about my animals being groomed. All right, guys, I'm going to jump off. Hey, Kay! I'm going to jump off, and I will see you all later. And remember, Caitlin and guys, like, who's in the Zoom, if you need a special time, let me know, because I can work around things, too. I'm actually really excited for this Zoom. I think I'm actually going to go to get a refresher and sit in my favorite spot and do the Zoom with you guys. All right, everybody. Exactly what Shalina said, guys. Undesirable things show up. You just keep relaxing. Remember, it's just old. It ain't got no power over you. And you just keep relaxing your body, and you soften your body, and you're using it to your advantage. It's actually helping you. Undesirable things are helping you. I can't express this enough. They are actually strengthening your focus. They're strengthening, I'm telling you right now, they're making you a better focuser. It don't feel so good in that moment, but I promise you, it's all going to make sense. It's all going to make sense. All right, I love you guys. Bye. Oh my God, me, I'm so awkward.